Hey y'all, what's up? Jared here with Meek Meals, the show where we make regular food for regular people. So today what we're gonna be making is kind of like an open-faced chicken sandwich. I think of it kind of like a spin on a Kentucky hot brown. So if you've never had a Kentucky hot brown, it's like a turkey sandwich with gravy and bacon and all on top. It's like an open-faced sandwich with that stuff on it, you know? And so this is gonna have like a twist on that. So it's gonna be a sandwich with chicken tenders on top, chicken strips, and then some gravy and stuff on top. So it's gonna be super easy to make, but I'm hoping it's gonna be pretty good. I'm kind of winging it as I typically do, so we'll see how it turns out. But let's get started. First thing I'm gonna do is pull out a plate so we have something to plate this up on. I already got the chicken strips cooking. So the chicken strips I'm using are just these guys. These are from Purdue. I kind of like these ones because they're good quality. Pick whatever your favorite brand is, and then I'm just cooking them in the oven. No big deal. If you want to fry them, you can fry them, air fry them, whatever you want to do. Just cook your chicken strips according to what's on the bag. I just prefer this brand for today. All right, next thing I'm gonna do, and then we'll go ahead and prep our bread. So this is actually, if you go to your local supermarket, if they have a bakery, they most likely will have just some bread like this. So this is a French loaf that we used earlier today for some French onion soup. And so this is just the rest of it. And I'm just gonna cut this open, maybe use about half of it to turn into our sandwich. So I'm just gonna go ahead, I'm gonna slice right into this guy. Take the other half and put it away. And then I'm just gonna cut this into a couple of nice, thick slices. Just like this, right? And so I'm gonna layer them up on our plate, something like that. And that's what we're gonna use as the base for our sandwich. So we'll just leave these here for now. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and make our gravy. You can make gravy 100 different ways. If you have some stock, you can use some stock along with a little flour and butter to make a good gravy. Or you can use these little packets, which is what I'm gonna be using today. So these little packets just come with some powder and stuff. You put it in there with some water, heat it up, turns into gravy. So these ones I bought in bulk because they're super simple, cheap, and this one is turkey gravy. Use whatever kind of gravy you like. But I feel like turkey or chicken gravy is gonna be best on this sandwich since what we're doing has chicken on the sandwich. Maybe using like a beef or a pork gravy wouldn't be as good. We got this skillet, and I'm just gonna pop open this gravy mix, and we're gonna put it in here. Yeah, like I said, this gravy mix is super cheap. You can usually get it for like between 30 and 80 cents at the store. Sometimes $1, but regardless, it's cheap. For like $1, you get some good gravy. Of course, if you wanna make it from scratch, you can. I did that earlier this week. That's totally up to you. But this is just how I'm doing it for right now. You want to start mixing up your gravy when you're making it from these packets while it's still cold. It becomes a little bit harder to incorporate fully once it's warmed up. So you at least want to start that process while you still got cold liquid. And then we're just going to go ahead and put this on the heat. And while I'm at it, I'm going to go ahead and turn on this middle one with my skillet here. If you don't have like a flat pot part like this guy, that's fine. You can just get like a cast iron skillet or any kind of skillet really and use that. But my stove has this guy and I use it all the time. So next thing I'm gonna go ahead and do, I'm just gonna pull out a little oil. I'm gonna use canola oil because it's what I got on hand. No big deal, whatever you want to use. I'm just gonna put a little dab of that right on our cooktop. And I'm gonna take our slices of bread and I'm just gonna rub those guys right in that oil. And then we're just gonna I'm gonna leave them sit there for a little bit. I'm gonna flip them over too so we can get both sides oiled up. And we're just gonna let those guys toast. And I realized the whole time I was doing that, the oil was in front of the camera. My apologies. And I'm gonna change burners here so that you guys can see this a little bit better. So everything's cooking. We got the bread toasting, gravy's warming up, and we got the chicken finishing up. And once that's all done, it'll be almost time to assemble. I'm also gonna go ahead and put my oven on broil because once I get this going, I'm gonna probably broil it just for a few seconds to melt the cheese. And so now all of the powder from our gravy mix is really starting to incorporate. There's not any big clumps left. And my gravy is starting to come to a boil. Once your gravy comes to a boil, it's ready to go. And so as long as it's at the consistency you would like, you can go ahead and remove it from the heat at that point. If it's not to the consistency you would like, you just gotta kind of let some of that boil off. So if it's not quite there, just keep cooking it, keep stirring it. You don't want it to burn on the bottom. Just keep stirring it and cooking it down until it gets to the consistency that you want. So right now, mine's looking pretty thin, so I'm just gonna keep cooking it down. Keep checking our bread. We're starting to get a little color on it. Stirring, stirring, stirring. I put way too much water in my gravy. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and pull my bread off. I'm gonna go put this on the plate here, just like that. Excellent. Just gonna set that to the side. And now we're just waiting for the gravy to cook down some more. So while that's doing its thing, I'm gonna go ahead and pull the chicken out. These are just little kind of pieces of chicken. You can do as large or as small as you would like. Check on our gravy. So now I'm just gonna give this chicken a little bit of chop. Not too much, it doesn't need a whole lot. These are already pretty small, so. Now the only piece that's missing is our gravy. Now because this is going to be a sandwich, I'm gonna do the gravy a little bit thicker than maybe you would do in some other situations because I don't want it to I don't want the gravy to just come straight through the bread. I want it to kind of sit on top of things. So I'm gonna do it a little bit thicker than probably what you would normally do. All right, gravy is coming off the heat. And then I'm just gonna let this thicken up a little bit on its own. So as the rest of that steam comes out of there, it's gonna thicken up just a little bit more. Meantime, we're going to pull our chicken over here. We're just gonna delicately sit it on top of our bread. And try to get a couple pieces on each slice. Just like that. Looks good to me. Get those crumbs on there too. That's good flavor bits, as they say. Who they is, I don't quite know. All right. Whew. Almost burnt my finger there. And then we're gonna go ahead with our gravy and just go right on top with it. Now, if you did have bacon, this would be a great time to go ahead and put some bacon on top of this dude. Bacon makes everything better, but I don't have any bacon, and so I can't do that, and that's fine. Not the end of the world. This is still going to be good on its own. All right, put that back there. And the last step is we're gonna add some cheese. I'm using mozzarella here because that's what I've got on hand. And then we're just gonna toss that under the broiler for a minute. Boom. There is our hot brown. That's a few different options. All right. This is the chicken hot brown. Bread, gravy, chicken, cheese, lots of different stuff. Let's dig into this guy. ooh, that is hot, you can tell. Look at that, the steam coming off of that dude. Man. It's different. I like it. I feel like this would have been better with like cheddar or something. Munster probably would have been good, but mozzarella works. All right, guys, that's it for today's episode. You know, I've been making a lot of stuff with chicken, so I know next episode, not using chicken. We're doing something different. We'll see what we're doing next time. Thank you guys for watching. If you like it, like, subscribe, do all that stuff, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace.